across the sweeping tides of the Adriatic Sea, a historical drama unfolded where mighty empires, daring rulers, and shifting alliances shaped the destiny of entire civilizations. In this tumultuous era, the Roman Republic was steadily extending its influence, while local powers contended for dominance over strategic territories. Among these powers, the coastal realms of Illyria stood at a crossroads between tradition and ambition. Here, the ancient island of Pharos, with its shimmering harbor and vibrant Greek heritage, became the stage for events that would echo through time. It was in this dynamic setting that Demetrius of Pharos emerged, a man whose life bridged cultures and patient opportunism with bold military strategy. In the early 3rd century BC, the Adriatic was not merely a body of water, but a corridor that linked diverse peoples with conflicting loyalties, where Greek traders, Illyrian warriors, and emerging Roman legions intermingled their fates. As the Roman state eyed this region with both caution and desire, the local rulers found themselves forced to choose between ancient allegiances and the seductive promises of Rome. The ensuing narrative of conquest, betrayal, warfare, and political intrigue serves as a vivid tapestry of ambition and consequence. Today, we explore the life of Demetrius of Pharos, whose strategic choices reverberated across Illyria, influenced Roman policy, and altered the balance of power on the Adriatic shores. His story is one of courage, cunning, and the perpetual struggle for supremacy in an era defined by both opportunity and peril. This tale captivates curious minds. Demetrius of Pharos was born into a vibrant world where Greek culture intermingled with native Illyrian traditions. His birthplace, the island of Pharos, located in the sparkling Adriatic Sea, was renowned for its thriving port and strong colonial roots since 385 BC. The island's rugged landscape and crystal-clear waters created a natural fortress, which would later serve as the foundation for Demetrius's ambitions. Growing up amid the bustling harbor and mosaic of cultures, he absorbed lessons of military strategy, maritime trade, and the art of governance from an early age. Under the influential rule of King Agron, Pharos had flourished, and its people relished a sense of unity and pride in their heritage. After Agron's death, the island faced a period of uncertainty when leadership passed to Queen Tuta, who managed the affairs of the realm as regent for the young Pins, Agron's son. It was during this transitional phase that Demetrius began to emerge as a formidable power. Observing the strengths and weaknesses of both his predecessors and the invading influences, he demonstrated a remarkable ability to adapt and seize opportunities. His dual identity, rooted in Greek sophistication combined with indigenous resilience, enabled him to navigate shifting loyalties and complex political landscapes with ease. This unique background set the stage for many of the strategic choices he would later make, choices that blurred the lines between honor, loyalty, and self-interest. In time, young Demetrius would harness these early lessons to secure a lasting imprint on the history of Illyria and its allies. The seeds planted in his early years matured into strategies that resonated deeply with both his peers and his adversaries. Thus, his early life was the forge in which his destiny was relentlessly shaped, ever enduring. During the turbulent period of the First Illyrian War, Demetrius of Pharos emerged as a key military strategist and decisive force on the battlefield. At a time when Queen Tuta's campaigns extended Illyrian influence over the Greek city-states, his involvement in pivotal naval engagements underscored his tactical brilliance. The initial assaults against Issa, Corcyra, and Epidamnus revealed a fierce determination to expand control over crucial coastal locations. In a significant naval battle near the island of Paxos, Demetrius showcased his command by directing fleets against the allied forces of the Achaeans and Aetolians with precision and valor. His strategies enabled Illyrian forces to secure early victories, establishing a reputation for audacity and skill that resonated across the Adriatic. As the conflict intensified, Roman interests became increasingly apparent. With Roman forces preparing to intervene in support of besieged allies, the pressure mounted, and the theater of war grew ever more complex. Demetrius's actions were both celebrated and controversial, as he balanced battlefield glory with rising political tensions. His ability to navigate shifting allegiances, perform bold maneuvers at sea, and maintain control over strategic points was a testament to his military acumen. This blend of tactical expertise and willingness to engage with rival powers contributed to a dynamic campaign that would leave an indelible mark on regional history. Through his leadership during these early conflicts, Demetrius not only bolstered Illyrian influence but also set the stage for future power struggles. Every battle and maneuver further solidified his reputation as a formidable commander, whose actions echoed in the annals of history as both a rallying cry for power and a prelude to betrayal. His legacy in the First Illyrian War remains a vivid reminder of the peril and promise inherent in every military endeavor, inspiring. Amid the swirling currents of war and shifting allegiances, a dramatic turn of events saw Demetrius of Pharos abandon his erstwhile ally Queen Tuda in a moment of calculated betrayal. As Roman legions advanced toward Illyrian strongholds to relieve besieged allies, whispers of discontent swirled around Demetrius, who felt unfairly accused by the queen. Fearing the wrath and unpredictable nature of Tuda's judgment, he made the fateful decision to turn his support instead toward the emerging power of Rome. In a bold and treacherous maneuver, Demetrius facilitated the handover of the strategic city of Corcyra to the Romans, thereby realigning his loyalties in favor of Rome's formidable might. This act of betrayal not only altered the course of the conflict, but also signaled a temporary shift in regional power dynamics. By joining forces with the Roman Republic, he positioned himself as a crucial intermediary and military guide in their campaign against Illyrian forces. In doing so, Demetrius secured for himself a place of prominence, albeit a role marked by moral ambiguity and conflicting loyalties. His decision underscored the harsh realities of power politics, where personal survival and ambition often trump traditional bonds and honor. Ambitions often shape history's harsh outcomes. Following the turbulent alliances and betrayals, Demetrius embarked on a relentless pursuit to re-establish Illyrian power. In or around 222 BC, the political landscape shifted as Demetrius assumed the role of regent for the weakened Ardeaean kingdom by marrying Trituda, the wife of the late King Agron and mother of the young Pins. This marriage not only solidified his claim, but also unified factions within the kingdom that had long been divided. With renewed authority and the trust of many, Demetrius set forth to revive traditional Illyrian customs and fortify the coastal regions, blending the old beliefs of his ancestors with the strategic innovations he had learned from Greek and Roman practices. His leadership reinvigorated the Illyrian spirit, inspiring both his allies and subjects to rally behind him. At the battlefield, his prowess became evident when he led a distinguished corps of 1,600 warriors at the Battle of Salacia. There, amid the clash of arms and the roar of conflict, his disciplined troops fought alongside Macedonian forces, securing a victory that echoed far beyond the immediate theater. This triumph not only elevated his status, but also reaffirmed the strength of Illyrian resolve. As his influence grew, Demetrius worked tirelessly to extend control, seizing opportunistic gains at the expense of Rome. His diplomatic maneuvers and military incursions reinvigorated the fading power of the Ardeaean state, threading together a complex tapestry of loyalty, identity, and ambition. In this climate of revived confidence and renewed strategy, Demetrius established a legacy that challenged established powers. His revival of Illyrian power was not merely a reclamation of territory, but a reinvention of authority itself, a fusion of ancient traditions with modern strategic acumen, setting the stage for future confrontations that would shake the very foundations of the region. His influence grew and inspired unmatched unity, indisputably. Driven by an insatiable ambition and the taste of power, Demetrius boldly extended his reach into the volatile Aegean Sea. With a fleet of 90 lembi at his command, he embarked on daring maritime excursions that rapidly became the stuff of legend. Venturing south of Lissus, his forces launched calculated assaults on the Cycladic Islands, where the delicate balance of trade, tribute, and regional influence was delicately maintained. He skillfully manipulated alliances and exploited local vulnerabilities, extorting tribute from some island communities while ruthlessly plundering others, all in the name of asserting his authority. The audacity of these incursions sent ripples of fear and admiration along the coast, as ancient customs met the ruthless efficiency of new tactics. Collaborating with his trusted commander, Certulidas, Demetrius briefly divided his forces to cover more territory. While Certulitus led a separate thrust that targeted the northern regions, Demetrius concentrated on consolidating his gains in the Aegean. His actions disrupted established maritime routes and unsettled Roman allies who depended on these critical passages for commerce and communication. The ensuing chaos forced regional powers to reassess their strategies in the face of emerging Illyrian might. Despite encountering determined resistance from Rhodian warships and local defenders, Demetrius's ventures into the Aegean cast a long shadow over the traditional order. His willingness to engage in piracy and unorthodox warfare redefined the rules of engagement in the maritime arena, leaving a legacy of both sensational exploits and lingering trepidation among his adversaries. His daring spirit reshaped nautical history. With the unrest in the Adriatic reaching a boiling point, Rome decided that the situation in Illyria demanded swift and decisive action in the Second Illyrian War. Determined to secure their strategic interests, Roman commanders advanced with a mixture of caution and aggression, eyeing each Illyrian fortification with calculated precision. Central to Rome's concerns was the city of Dimulum, a pivotal Illyrian fortress that Demetrius had shrewdly used to consolidate his previous gains. Recognizing its importance, the Romans launched a rapid siege that resulted in the city falling by direct assault in a matter of days, thereby sending a clear signal that Rome would not tolerate any further infringements. On the island of Pharos, Demetrius had fortified his position with robust defenses and abundant provisions within the city of Issa. Confident in his preparations, he expected a prolonged standoff that would favor his stronghold. However, Roman courage and tactical risks prevailed when Commander Aemilius Paulus opted for a frontal assault rather than a drawn-out siege. Cunning strategies were implemented as Roman forces feigned maneuvers and attacked from multiple directions. The result was a coordinated offensive that caught Demetrius off guard, resulting in a battle where the Illyrian forces, isolated from their fortified refuge, suffered a crushing defeat. As the tides of war turned inexorably in Rome's favor, Demetrius found his options dwindling. Realizing that his strategic position was untenable, he deserted the island and fled towards Macedonia, leaving behind a realm reeling from the loss. The fall of Dimulum and the decisive Roman advances restored stability to the Adriatic, reaffirming Roman dominance in the region. This conflict not only reigned in Illyrian ambitions, but also laid the groundwork for future Roman campaigns against rival powers, marking a turning point in the region's turbulent history. Its consequences echoed through generations, resoundingly. After the defeats in Illyria, Demetrius faced the collapse of his former dominion on Pharos. With little chance to reclaim lost power, he chose to flee the advancing Roman forces. His arduous journey led him across rugged terrain until he reached the courts of Macedon. In the grandeur of King Philip IV's realm, Demetrius reinvented himself as an indispensable counselor and military strategist. His seasoned perspective on Illyrian affairs and first-hand experience with Rome's might offered Philip valuable insights for future campaigns. Within the Macedonian court, his presence symbolized both the memory of past glories and a beacon for new ambitions. Demetrius's advice, formed through years of conflict and shifting loyalty, steered the young king towards bold initiatives that challenged the status quo. His transition from a beleaguered Illyrian leader to a trusted advisor marked a turning point not only in his own life, but also in Macedon's evolving strategy. This pivotal shift would later influence monumental decisions as Macedonia prepared to contend with Rome's growing power and reshape the regional balance of influence. In this new role, he became a bridge between the experiences of the past and the ambitions of a future defined by strategic innovation and strength. In the Macedonian court, the influence of Demetrius began to shape policy and spark intense internal debates. He was not merely an advisor, but a catalyst who spurred King Philip V to embark on ventures that challenged the established order. Demetrius's counsel, steeped in his experiences of warfare and shifting allegiances, pushed the king toward bold military and diplomatic initiatives. His strategic vision often clashed with more moderate court figures, setting off a chain of intrigue that rippled throughout the corridors of power. As his recommendations steered Philip V into closer, more aggressive confrontations with Rome, the internal dynamics of the court grew increasingly contentious. Rival factions emerged, some lauding Demetrius's daring ideas, while others warned of the looming repercussions of underestimating Rome. This period of intense political maneuvering saw alliances forged and broken, and the very character of Macedonian leadership began to transform. Although his influence brought opportunities for expansion, it also sowed seeds of discontent and controversy. In the end, Demetrius's enduring mark on Macedonian policy was as much about igniting ambition as it was about exposing the perils of unbridled power, leaving a legacy that would be debated by historians for generations. Its impact resonated far beyond. In the final, desperate campaign to reclaim lost honor, Demetrius of Pharos led an audacious assault on the city of Messene. Determined to turn the tide and recover his ancestral lands, he mustered every ounce of his battle-hardened resolve in a campaign that would become his ultimate test. Under a blood-stained sky, and amidst the chaos of clashing armies, he charged into battle, driven by a mix of revenge, ambition, and the hope of restoring his former glory. The siege of Messene unfolded as a tragic ballet of valor and fatal miscalculation. Though his strategies had once inspired awe, the overwhelming might of opposing forces and the unforeseen turns of battle left him vulnerable. In the ensuing combat, the city's defenses proved too formidable, and Demetrius fell amid the fray, his life extinguished in a blaze of combat. His death marked not only the end of his personal saga, but also signaled a turning point in regional power, as his downfall reverberated through the corridors of both Illyrian and Macedonian history. After his fall, the legacy of Demetrius of Pharos endured as a multifaceted chronicle of ambition, betrayal, and fleeting triumphs. His daring exploits and controversial decisions continue to provoke debate among historians and rulers alike. Though his reign was marred by divided loyalties, his life remains a compelling testament to the perilous dance between power and destiny, echoing through the annals of ancient history. This saga, imbued with heroism and tragedy, inspires awe and warns of costs of ambition.